Well, I don't know what to do. I haven't even made my decision yet. It is live, and I'm going to have to make my decision at this point. JB, will I pick Union or will I not pick Union to win this game? Everybody's going to find out with us here on Lightning Predictions Live. Week number 13 here, and we don't have our bar up on top, but we will get that there in a second so that we can all see how much success I had. You know, I'm obviously right back in the hunt here with you to, win this
games
off. Yeah, exactly, right back in the hunt. There's more than enough games to do this, I think. Come on.
I got my Montclair State pad, and thank you, Red Hawks. for terrorizing Frank all season.
Yeah, how many games did I not get right? 5 in the end. So there it is. That's
no, I think you went 1. You went 1 and 4. So you got one right.
5. 1 and 5. At the end of the season, I got one more wrong. I picked Kane. So yep, I
did. Oh jeez.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks, JB. I know I sound a little hoarse here today, folks. It's been a week of a cold, and I actually feel better than I sound today, believe it or not. So I will be making...
You look okay, Frank.
Well, that's irrelevant. I will be taking the jaunt to New York City in a little bit, getting my haircut, doing my whole routine. And then, yep, exactly. Because you got to hide the gray when you're 43 years old by getting it cut once a week, in my book.
Just a little salt and pepper.
Yeah. Yours hides better because you got kind of the redhead thing going on there. Then I'm going to head down to Salisbury, and I get down there tomorrow morning and see Coach Wood, see Coach Behrman, who we heard from on the Around the Nation podcast, the new East Region podcast known as Around the Nation. Thanks to Pat and Keith for that. They finally woke up that we have some great coaches in football here in the East Region. Who knew? Well, besides him. Let's do this. Let's pick some games. One other thing before we forget. Great photos, great stories we heard throughout the last 24 hours of families taking in players for Thanksgiving and also team Thanksgiving dinners. I think Wegmans had catered Brockport's is what I heard. That's got to be a heck of a good
Wegmans.
feeding going.
Oh, so good. I miss Wegmans, man. I miss Wegmans.
When we put our Hannaford up here in Ballston, everybody and his brother is like, why isn't it a Wegmans? And it's like, I don't think we really have the choice to go get Wegmans in a small community like ours, unfortunately. Wegmans is a behemoth, and when they make their way to upstate eastern New York, it's going to be Albany, not Ballston Spa. But, yep, Wegmans with Brockport, a lot of other schools, the players would go to the families of local players and, took in like 5 or 6. Saw Jim Catanzaro. He sent me some photos of his Thanksgiving, Lake Forest head coach and committee chair with a bunch of players that came over for a nice meal at his place. It's such a wonderful time of the year because we still are technically in football and school mode. A lot of people can't necessarily go back even if they aren't playing football. And the fact is that you see the care and the love that we have in this society here in the U.S., and it kind of melts your heart. So before I get all emotional about it and, start crying on the air, which that's just an ugly, ugly idea right there, I think we better start the music that we all have grown to know and love, I think. Oh.
Yeah, I might have had something in my eye yesterday when we were going around the table with the kids and doing our little grateful circle. It happens.
Aw, JB, come on, that's so cute. Now you're gonna leave me with that as we got William Tell's overture on. I can't believe it. Okay, we know we've got some viewership here. Again, excuse my voice, but hello live folks. We a lot of schools are interested to see what we're gonna do here. So we're going to start with the upper left and move around basically counterclockwise around the brackets. Huntingdon with 3 losses at UMHB with 0 losses this season. JB, heads or tails?
Tails.
Yeah, you lost again. Go ahead.
This is the easiest game to pick of the bunch. Crew all the way. Their offense has been a little slow to start, but I'll take them to win this one 42-10. Too much defense.
You know, look, last week we talked about it. UMHB had what looked like a great scoreboard number, but not a great offensive number. 250 yards is way below what their season average is and what they should be doing at that stage in a first-round game. If I'm Coach Fredenberg, I'm telling my guys, I'm disappointed in you from last week, and you better show some improvement in this game coming up. Huntington beat a buried team that's put up some points this season last week. They may challenge a little bit here, but I agree with you. Ultimately, it's going to be 40-20. No, you know what? Screw it. 40-14. Kevin Jones and company have too much pride to let that many points get on the board, I think.
That defense is going to score at least 2 touchdowns on Saturday, so book it.
Yep. I said to Tevin the other day, if I see you break 150 tackles, that means I'm seeing you in Shenandoah, basically, this season. He's at 125 right now, which he would need to get to about 150, I think, for the national lead overall. Central at Wheaton. Well, you know how some of this game occurred. Actually, we're going to the bottom left. You know what? Hold on. We should be doing this in the right order here. I'm calling it audible. This should be Wartburg at
This is why we call this show Lightning Predictions. Okay.
Wartburg at UW Whitewater. You know what? I've been high on Wartburg. Pat Coleman has not. He's made it clear. And just because I like to be an SOB when it comes to D3Football.com sometimes and be the antagonist. Yeah, who knew? Wartburg takes this one with some high-powered offense. That loss against Central, I think, proved a lot to them as to who they were or weren't at that point, and they've learned from it. Wartburg wins this 28-24.
Yeah, this is the one that I really struggled with the most out of all 8 games because of the fact of how Whitewater just let one slip away when they played Oshkosh in Week 11. But I think, at home in the playoffs, they're going to pound the rock. It's going to be a close game, like you said. I do agree, like a 27-24 or 21 type of game, but I will give the slight edge to the Warhawks just based on experience. They've been there. They know how to win these playoff games, and so I will take UW.
Score?
27-21.
Central at Wheaton. We mean it this time. Central, after that big comeback against Oshkosh, the win in overtime. Oshkosh missing a 2-point conversion. Wheaton didn't have much of a challenge against Martin Luther last week. Your turn.
I think the Thunder are trying to live up to their hype as being one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the nation. I lived in Chicago 20 years ago, so hey, let's go with Chicagoland area team. I will pick the Thunder. Another close game. I think this will be like a 35-28 final. Central's going to hang around and give them some fits, but I think the Thunder has enough offense and defense to get it done.
Yeah, in this case, I'm going Wheaton. Even though I went Wartburg over Whitewater, I think Wheaton takes this one over Central. Central's had a hell of a season the last few weeks, especially, and their play-by-play guy may not be able to take much more of this, although it is a Wheaton broadcast.
I'm going to have a heart attack. Oh, God.
His color commentator is just like the most dulcet tone guy, and just matter of fact, and he's like over there going nuts with these 2-point conversions. It's kind of a funny broadcast to watch when you look at the broadcasters, but he does a great job. Does the play-by-play. Nice. Wheaton wins this. Boy, Thunder take it 37-27. St. John's at Chapman. Who would have thought a few weeks back that St. John's would be on the road in the second round of the playoffs? And here we are. But they will win. This is going to be a high-scoring affair. Neither team had a defense of note, basically. Chapman gave up over 60 in triple overtime. St. John's gave up over 40 in regulation to Aurora, of all teams. Chapman looks good on paper, but St. John's and Jackson Erdman, they're an express train still running here all the way to the West Coast. St. John's wins it 51-37.
Yeah, fireworks there. Yeah, down in the OC, the Skyaks had a good run, but I do agree with you that St. John's just a little too much offensively with Erdman, who's trying to win his second consecutive Glardy Trophy. I agree on the 51. I might raise you a couple of points. I'll say 55-38. St. John's takes this one on the West Coast.
So far, some agreements going on here overall. I think we have one difference so far. Yep. Let's see, North Central and Mount Union. North Central and Mount Union.
This is a good one. This is me? Crap.
This is you.
Yeah. This is interesting because here you have Brock Rudder and company trying to do what a lot of teams have attempted and failed miserably for a long time, based on how the Purple Raiders run things. And jeez, I want to take North Central in the upset, but
I'm enjoying the music. Once you decide, let me know.
I think lightning predictions, Frank. That's what we call this, lightning predictions. I'll take the Raiders in a close one. It's going to be a tough-fought game. I'll say they'll pull away late, though, 35-24.
Mount Union all the way, 50-24. I just don't see it being the game everybody thinks it's going to be. I just don't see it. Yep. Moving right along. Del Val at Wesley. We've got our first of 3 East Region games. You are bulletin board material right now, my friend, and I may be joining you in a second here. I don't know. It's just Drew Fry. They won it in quadruple overtime without him. I mean, I think that's... Don't mind that. I think that's... well done, Frank. I think that they have a better quarterback right now. And we talked about Will Fontana's experience this season counterbalance this Drew Fry. And I don't see the answers being yes right now. I see Wesley being the team. And with a much more distant score. I think it's going to be 30-17 in favor of Wesley in this one.
I think there's going to be a little more offensive fireworks than that, Frank. I think this is going to end up being like a 42-35 or 40-30 type of affair. But I like the idea of the Nobile brothers, causing problems, maybe getting a defensive score. But Fry and Wesley look like they're locked in, and so I'm going to pick the Wolverines too, and listen to Coach Fitz. Now that I'm committed to play at Frostburg State for next season, I got to listen to my head coach, Frank. So I was offered.
What's your score?
Anyway,
officially
42-35 Wolverines.
Yeah, since I have the Wesley hat on, do you have the Brockport garbage can put over your head for this one, or how does it work? Yeah, the Golden Eagles making an appearance here live on our show. Brockport of Muhlenberg is next to start. Actually, you know what?
I wanted to pick.
Let me start. I'm going to flip starting with you on this one versus the next one for a good reason. I think you know why it is now.
Yep. Okay, I got you.
I'm going Mules. I just think that they are a consistent team right now. But I think this is going to be a really good game at that. And it's not going to be a high scoring affair. I think Brockport is going to keep this game in the 20s defensively. But Muhlenberg has a defense too. And that's the problem. It's been a very good defense for most of the season. Muhlenberg wins this game, stops the run to a degree, which is the bread and butter right now for Brockport, dares Freddie June to throw, and it happens with mixed results. 26-21.
Yeah, this was one that I was struggling with too because I like Brockport. I think they have the ability to win this game, but we've also seen, Frank, the both the Centennial and the Pac, two of the primary Pennsylvania conferences, have just really dominated this postseason. +9 turnover margin for the Mules. They're not going to beat themselves. Their defense is allowing less than 70 rush yards a game. I just think with Brockport's still somewhat one-dimensional offense, it's going to be tough to win. But defensive battle, I could see playing out. I'll take the Mules to hang on. Yeah, I think 27-21 sounds about right. Uh-oh.
Go.
Coach Fitz said it was 42-27, so I'll stick with that one. I'll just take the easy way out. They're the number 1 seed. They're home. They've looked strong across the board all season. They beat Oshkosh in week 2, and even though it was a 1-score game, it was really 24-zip halfway through the fourth quarter. So don't believe it. They pounded the Titans. I believe in Union. I think they can. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull off the upset. But as far as just being objective on the numbers, 50 points a game, it's going to be hard to contain. So I'll take the Gulls 42-27.
Heart, head. Which one do you go with in these situations? You haven't had a situation like this in eternity, because I don't think we were doing predictions like this when Hobart went to its run back when, were we, to this degree?
Maybe. I can't remember. It's a while ago. It's 5 years.
That was, 5 or 6. Was it 14 or 13? I can't remember.
14. 14 and, yep.
You know what? Screw it. I need a game anyway back from you, so I'll go up in flames if I'm going to go up anywhere here. Here's the thing about Salisbury. I think if Union uses the Ithaca game plan, and Salisbury doesn't have the ball for 40 minutes in this game, or 35 minutes in this game, I think Union stands a chance to win it. The Union has to play the same game they played at Ithaca to win this. That's, you take 5 minutes in your first drive of the first time in the first half. You take 8 minutes in your first drive in the second half. You basically control that clock. You control the pace of the game. You force them to have to be efficient and force them to have to go to the pass more than they may want to. Now, granted, they can pass. And Blaine Fitzgerald explained to us when they got their offensive coordinator back, they learned how to mix the pass and the run better in mid-level triple that they run. Union has the ability to win this game. They beat Ithaca, which I think was a team that was on par in some ways with Salisbury at certain points this season. I think they had a plus in the quarterback column, a minus in the running back column, but all told, I think it balanced out. Union will upset Salisbury by the final score of 24-20. And I am strict on the idea that Union cannot allow this game to get into the 30s to win it. And I will also say that you were a little hard on Will Halpin the other day, saying that, he's an okay kicker. But you also said
he's good. I said he was good.
You also said that you aren't going to win this game with field goals, and the field goals may actually be crucial in a game like this. And that's where Salisbury, I don't think, has the advantage. I think Union does have the advantage in close games where they needed the field goal. So I want to correct you or interject that to you at this point. So
I object, Your Honor.
Yes, exactly. And the two Utes. I'm sorry.
The Utes in question.
Yeah, what's going on for the next couple days or so, folks? So you may be wondering. Again, I am going to be down there, and unless somebody tells me not to do it, I'm going to be bringing you video from the sideline like we normally do on Twitter from the Union-Salisbury game. So you'll be able to stay up to date on that. I'll be dropping a pregame and halftime update to all of you on Twitter. And then post-game, the winning coach and winning player or two will be with me for interviews that will run on our either Sunday or Monday show, as there's a big storm looming in New England and in the Northeast coming up here on Sunday. And so my travel plans are a little bit awkward right now. So we'll figure out exactly how that's going to run and where I'm going to be. But in the meantime, we're going to enjoy some football together. JB's going to be tweeting all day long all 3 hours long, basically, for about the 3 East Region games. And he does a great job under the D3FB Huddle handle. And, look, in some ways, my dream scenario would be Union wins and Brockport wins, and I get to spend next Saturday in Schenectady in that case, based on what we know.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's pretty long shot, but you know what?
Anything can happen.
Put $10 on that parlay somewhere, folks, and it'd probably make you a rich person if it were to happen. I don't bet on it. He doesn't bet on it. And I'm not sure they even have odds for things like this at this point, but the point is, it's a long shot to happen, but we'll see. And if it does happen, who would have thought it after week 1 of this year that a Union Brockport quarterfinal could even exist at that point in time? More because of Brockport at that point than even Union. But look, we didn't know Union was going to be this team.
Yeah, nobody did. No, I mean, well, you called it a little bit early. You thought they would win the Liberty League, but I mean, yeah, this is a chance to go to the Elite Eight. So rarefied air, and certainly one that it'll be great to see at least one East Region team in there. Obviously, on the other side, down the lower side, we're assuming that it'll probably be Mount Union hosting the winner of the Wesley Del Val game. We'll find out for sure. I'm kind of hoping that North Central busts the bracket, and then we'll have, kind of see what happens from there. But the Raiders are usually a pretty safe bet, so still to have a chance for 3 teams in the Elite Eight. That's pretty cool.
Well, if Brockport wins, we are guaranteed a semifinalist also in this situation. Muhlenberg's the only non-conference or non-region team that is still in the upper right bracket.
Yeah.
And so if you really are an East purist, you're going to want to see Brockport knock off Muhlenberg. And then it's either Salisbury, Union, or Brockport, if that were to happen, going to the semifinals. Only the second time in the East would have a semifinalist in the last 10 years, I believe, if memory serves. Is it 10 or 6 or what is it? You guys got to the quarters, right? Yeah, Hobart.
Yeah, Wesley went to the semis that year. We obviously Brockport went to the semis to play Mary Hardin Baylor in 2017.
But Wesley was a South Region team. Wesley was a South Region team at that time. So
that's true.
St. John Fisher, I think, was the last prior to Brockport doing it a couple of years ago.
Probably. It was 06 or something like that. Yeah.
So there you go. Folks, enjoy football. Travel safely. Hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving, and we'll extend it into the weekend. And we'll see you on Twitter and then back here on Facebook later on this weekend.